I had an awesome interview with Julie Trich. Y'all can find that video here on my page on the channel. She had talked about in that video about when we go to a job, they go ahead and tell us what we're worth. Here's your worth. This is, that's what you're worth. Okay. When we start working our own businesses and there's not someone there to assign a level of worth to us, it's very challenging for most to determine, well, what is my worth? What worth do I have? What are my services worth? What is the transformation worth? So we have to make sure that we're getting into a place of understanding the worth. I mean, sometimes I hear of what certain people charge for certain services and I'm like, holy moly. But they have built up a community that feels that they are worth that price for that service. It's just like the difference between buying, it's like, just a basic, like a Ford and a Mercedes. What's the worth, right? What is it worth to the people that want it? So this is something we have to work on determining. What is my sense of worth? What do I believe that I'm worth to myself? What value, what contribution do I bring that makes me worth being compensated and being supported? Okay, so this is stuff we have to really work on. And I wish I could just dig in, but it's like that's one-to-one, that kind of stuff, like that mindset work. That is not something for just a video. Okay, but we can at least go ahead and start identifying and saying, okay, let me check in with this. Belly gut check, right? Let me check in. What's going on with this in my energetics? I see this. I recognize this. I can honor this. I can observe it without judgment and start getting ideas as to where I need to improve that sense of worth. Maybe it starts with taking better care of ourselves. Maybe it starts with, how do I feel when I look in the mirror? Do I look at someone and say, hot damn, yes? Or do I look at someone and say, gosh, these bags, just looking so, I don't like my arms are too big. I don't like this. And when I sit, I hate how I roll. What are we doing? Where's our sense of love in ourself? That is going to affect how much we feel like we are worth when it comes to our work. Okay, so start working on that. Start investing in yourself by taking care of yourself with self-care. What are things that you can do that make you feel sexy, that make you feel inspirational, that make you feel elevated? What are things that you can start doing now for yourself that in your own personal eyes is going to raise your value? Start there. Okay. The next kind of subsection, I don't even know where we're going, but how many, 5, whatever. The next thing I want to go into with my notes is, in order to build confidence with our belief in ourselves to overcome imposter syndrome, we have to start creating social proof. This is a very interesting concept because a lot of people say, well, I haven't really started, or I don't have a ton of clients yet, so I don't have a ton of social proof. No one wants to do my sessions because I don't have any social proof. Often I see women fall kind of into this trap of, well, I'll just give away services. I'll just try to, ask people if they'll let me do services on them, and etc. And what ends up happening from doing that is we devalue ourselves again, and we're kind of reprogramming and perpetuating this belief around, I'm unworthy of being paid. So we do not want to do that. Don't do that. It's one thing if you're in a space where you want to launch something and you're like, I need 5 people to just go through this like, so I can get some like data and feedback, cool. But if you're somebody who's in a space where you're already struggling with your value and don't believe that you deserve to be paid for your services and to work with people, do not give stuff away for free. Don't. What you can do instead is ask for a donation. This is donation based. Donation based. I'm going to do a challenge. I'm going to do a healing. I'm going to do a class. I'm going to teach on this. I'm working on enhancing my gifts and abilities for energy healing. And I need 5 people. It's donation based. Here's the recommended donation amount. Okay? Because getting $5 is money. Okay? That is going to tell a part of your body and your beliefs and your programming in your mind, wait a second, someone is willing to pay to have this service. So if we're at that space and we're very unsure, start with the donation-based services. That is going to help recalibrate your mind around your worthiness to receive financial compensation for your services and that you deserve to receive support in that way. Okay, we have to start somewhere. Also, making sure I'm being mindful of your pricing and all that. I've talked about that before in other videos, pricing or offer and stuff like that. That's all so important. Okay, this is why this is not just here's the secret. Go do that. There's so much to having a successful business. And a huge part of it, I would say 80% of it, is mindset. It's embodiment. It's energetics. It's huge. It's a huge, huge part of this. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up. If you go the route of doing donation-based services and start really trying to just show up, start putting feelers out, because the thing is, we have to start collecting data. Okay, in our businesses, we have to collect data. And so the more services we can do, the more people we can support, the more people we can talk to, the more data we collect, the more we can understand our audience, the more we can perfect our offer, the more we can make sure we're creating something that people want and that is going to really help them based on the feedback and the things that they have shared. So we collect data. Okay, so do challenges, do classes, do sessions at that aspect of donation based, and try to get in as many as you can as fast as you can. Try to collect as much data, because what that's going to do is it's really going to boost your confidence, your sense of worth in your own business. It's also going to start giving you social proof for yourself and for your audience. So as you continue to show up and continue to grow, you will then have testimonials. So you could say this. It's going to be donation based in exchange for a testimonial, please. That is part of this. I'm going to provide this service and I need a testimonial from you, and it's going to be come with whatever you can. Okay? Just start. This is someone who's like, really, really like, I'm so nervous to start this. Okay. This is the easiest way to get started. It feels the best in women's bodies who are really afraid to ask for payment for their services. So start it that way. But as you get the testimonials, you can then share the testimonials. You can also share your experiences. Be honest about where you are. Gosh, I got to do my first session today. It was amazing. I'll admit I went into it kind of nervous, but everything just flowed. Like, it was just this amazing experience, et cetera, et cetera. This is something like what the client had to say. So excited to do the next one. Still taking on, 5 more people for donation-based sessions so that I can continue to perfect my craft. Comment below if you want one. Okay? So we're getting that social proof. And it's also allowing us to not feel like we're like faking it and being a fraud, like we're being an imposter. We're being honest about where we are. I'm new, I'm figuring this out. But I still like, I need something. So can we energetically exchange in some way as I learn and as I grow and I get better? And then there we go. Everyone has to start somewhere. Okay. So the last piece of advice I'm going to give you with this video is we have to make sure that we're just releasing our expectations. And this goes back to, what did I say in the beginning, right? When we're trying to make something look a certain way because we want it to look that way. When it comes to our content, when it comes to, well, not a lot of people signed up for this workshop. I didn't get enough of this, or this happened. Y'all, I'll tell you, at this point in my business, I still have workshops that flop. People that just nobody registers for it. That still happens. Okay, but I still get high ticket clients. It just happens. It's just part of it. Sometimes you'll get huge outcomes, and then nobody buys, or you'll have like 5 people, and then all of them buy the next offer. So it's like we just keep going, and we release all of these expectations, because again, when we put these expectations on it, or I had to learn this the hard way. I have to get 100 people registered for this workshop, and then math-wise, at least 20% should convert into this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. Is it important to have goals? Absolutely. But if we're being so stringent to the point where we're putting all these expectations in place, and then when it doesn't happen, we sit back and feel like a failure, that is not helpful to us if we are trying to work on overcoming imposter syndrome. This is why just being in pure observation mode, say, hey, I'm collecting data. Okay, make that your mantra. I am collecting data. I'm going to put out feelers for this workshop, and I want to see if people are interested. Not a whole lot of interest. So let me go back and collect data. What have people commented on most? What post have they liked the most? What kind of stuff have they been most interested in? Right, let me create a workshop around that. See how that does. It's all about just having the data so that we can then take an educated step in the right direction. Okay? And then we just completely separate our sense of worth with that feedback. It's like a science experiment. We have to completely remove the connection. Oh, nobody was interested in this workshop, so now suddenly everyone hates me. What? There's nothing to do with that. This is to do with the algorithm, the audience. It wasn't a good fit. We have to check this stuff all the time. As we start growing a business, we check our sales funnels. That one didn't convert. Who? Let's tweak it. Let's find this. Let's do the higher ticket offer first and then the lower ticket offer. Let's do the lower ticket then higher. Like, what works better? Let me redo my copy. Let me switch this up. Let me shorten the copy. Let me lengthen the copy. Let me add less or more detail. Let me take out detail. We have to just keep tweaking, trying, changing. It is not math, but it's not about us. I'll just say that. It is its own thing. And so we just have to attach the expectation to the correct thing, which is just the data. Okay, the data is telling me this, so I need to make this adjustment. The data is telling me that, so I need to make this adjustment in my business. And no matter what the data says, I am still amazing, capable, worthy,